Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone and welcome back to a new video from the Palestine in School in Qatar. And today, inshallah, we will talk about Unit 9, the world of food. This is Mr. Abdullah Sharrab, and we will talk about period 8. We will read the activities and do the tasks, inshallah, easily and quickly. Let's start with the first activity. Activity number 1, read sentences 1 to 6. We have 6 sentences, and then we have a rule that we will try to form it correctly by choosing the correct choices. Number 1, Kuwait is a desert country. 2, the climate there is hot and dry. 3, the climate there is bad for olive trees. 4, perhaps you had some bread. 5, the wheat was probably American. 6, people use wheat to make bread. Look at the sentences again. Choose the best way to complete the statements. Let's try to form the rule correctly. In sentences 1 and 4, and focus on the underlined words. A desert country, some bread. In sentences 1 and 4, we use a, an, or the, or some, or the. What do you think? First choice a and an. We can see here a desert animal, or some, or the, of course we use some bread. We do this when we start talking about something new. So when we start talking about something new, we use a or an, or we can use some also. 2. In sentences 2 and 5, we change to a, an, some, the, because our listener knows about the thing, the climate in Kuwait and the wheat in the bread. The climate, the wheat. So we change to the. Why? Because the listener knows about the thing that we have already mentioned before. Okay, 3. In sentences 3 and 6, we are talking about all things in a group. Olive trees, wheat, and we add a, an, some, add the, or we don't add anything. What do you think? For olive trees, wheat, bread, we can notice that we don't add anything when we talk about all things in a group. This was our rule. Let's move to the second activity. Activity number 2, where compared, look, remember and describe the fruit and vegetables. It's a speaking activity. Let's just do it as an example here quickly. Look at the picture for a short time, then close your box and take turns to say what you saw. Look at the picture. 1, 2, 3. See the examples here. There was an orange. Okay, let's cover the photo. What can you see? There was an orange. Yes, and there were some carrots. Right. And we saw, what did you see? We saw some lemons. We saw, try to think, a melon. Excellent. We saw some potatoes. What can you see? Okay. There was an onion and a pepper. What else? Try to think. Very good. Now talk about everything again. What can you see specifically? On the right, on the left. Orange was on the left. Yes, and the carrots were on the right. Okay, what about the melon? Excellent. Was on the left. What about the grape? The grapes were in the middle, next to or behind the banana. Very good. And so on. You can practice just saying what can you see or what did you see in the picture. Let's move to the third activity where compares use the words from the boxes to make statements. We have two boxes here. We want to join the words in each box to make a statement. See the examples here. We use ground meat to make burgers. Very good. We also use ground meat again to make what? What do you think? This is the first example. We use ground meat to make burgers. Okay. We also use ground meat to make excellent to make kebabs. Okay, pause the video, try to think and make the rest of the statements, then check your answer. What do we make? What do we use milk to make? Or what do you okay, milk again, wheat and wheat. So two things. We make them from ground meat, another two from milk, and another two from wheat. We use milk to make butter. Very good. We use milk to make cheese. Excellent. We use wheat to make spaghetti or pasta. Very good. And we use wheat to make bread. Please write these statements in your exercises. Let's move to the last activity where compares talk about things you like and things you don't like so much. It's also a speaking activity. You can do it with your partner in the class, or if you are at home, you can do it with a family member. Just say, I really like burgers, or whatever. You can change burgers into any food. You too? And the other one or two or three can say, yes, I do too. And I also love kebabs. I also love pizza, for example. Or, well, they are all right, but I prefer kebabs. I prefer something else, okay? Or, no, not much. I really prefer kebabs. You can change the words and brackets and practice this activity for 5 minutes at least. Now, please, after you play the rule and then correct the mistakes, write this question in your exercises book and do the task, please. Pause the video, write the questions, answer them, and then check your answer. Number one, are there any water in the bottle? Is there any water? Excellent. Two, there isn't some water in the bottle. There isn't any. And in this exercise, we are revising what we talked about before in the first grammar rule. Talk about any, about some, about how many, and how much. Do you remember? We use any in negative statements and also in questions. And we use some in affirmative statements. We use how many with countable nouns, and we use how much with uncountable nouns. 3. Is there any oranges? Oranges? Are there any oranges? Excellent. 4. I have any sweets in my bags? I have some sweets in my bed. 5. I couldn't find some eggs. I couldn't find any eggs in the box. How many salt do you like in your food? Salt, uncountable. So, how much salt? 7. Could you give me any coffee? Or could you give me some coffee, please? Polite request, we use some. Okay. And the last one, how much students are there in the class? We'll use how many because students are countable. Excellent. Thanks for attending. See you inshallah in the next lesson. Assalamu alaikum.